Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw. On today's episode, we're talking Monday Night Raw. Did you just hurt yourself with your Judgment Day themed pen?
No, my arm fell asleep. I had my arm up over my armrest at an awkward angle in my arm.
Oh, man. Now, you got to keep those guns blazing, ready to go. We're going to talk about the upcoming war with wrestling. God damn.
A leg day today, too, Steve. You need to have a strong base.
Yeah, you do, man. Get one on base hits in on them Wrestle Talk dudes. We're going to talk about the ongoing war. God damn it. Did you do, what is it called? Isometrics or whatever? Plyometrics, whatever it is? The thing
I did some plyometrics today to work on my vertical leap. I'm dunking next year. That's my goal.
All right, man. 2024, the year of the dunk. Anyways, We're going to talk about Judgment Day regaining, I tell you, those tag team titles from Cody and Jay, Drew McIntyre's crisis of confidence, and all sorts of stuff going on here. Oh, my gosh, Rhea Ripley, she's defending that title against like 15 different people all at the same time. Yeah. And she's like, bring him on. It's really good stuff, man. I thought Raw was pretty solid last night. So, yeah, man, what do you think about that title switch there?
Before we get to that,
yeah,
we got a pressing matter regarding, we discussed it yesterday. You apparently have some new information that I'm not privy to, and I need to hear it before we talk about anything else.
Oh, you want to get right to it. Right.
I want to get right to it.
Well, you know me, man. I like to jump the gun, in all aspects of my life. And so yesterday when I was using volatile language, like on site with the guys over at Wrestle Talk, who I love, there's also Pete, but all those guys I love. Then there's also Pete. But I was using a lot of volatile language.
Yes.
And I like to think of us as gentlemen. And so I reached out to some of the higher ups over there at Wrestle Talk. There's a lovely guy named Kenneth there. And, back in the day, we were trying to tamper all over Luke's contract to get him over here. So they've offered us, and I'm trying to negotiate this peace deal between us and Wrestle Talk.
All right.
So now I'm a little bit of a character change of my own.
Oh, you've gone from aggressor to mediator.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. And so the offer on the table right now is a great one. It's a really cool one. A trade, much like Jay and Kevin Owens. A trade.
Trade, you say? Okay, yes. A trade.
So like Going In Raw would get a little bit younger and a little bit more British. Larson gets swapped out for Luke Owen. He comes here to sunny California, brings his lovely family with him. You get to go over to the UK into that sweaty studio that they do their podcast in at Wrestle Talk. They probably work 8 hours a day. And then they'll offer up a relocation fee of, get this, 20,000 pence.
What is that in U.S. American dollars?
I don't know. It sounds like a lot, though. 20,000 pence? That's a ton. That's got to be like $250,000, I would think.
No, I don't think that's anywhere near that much.
But here's the trick. You can't bring your family. You would just be you. You would just go there. And then if I
bring my dog.
If you can fit her in your coat.
Do I get to bring like one suitcase?
You get like a London fog jacket. That's on top. That's a sweetener right there. So yeah.
Pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
Well, I mean, I've got it's
Cody
a deal.
Says that's $200. So that's $243.03 for a relocation fee. So that's inadequate to say the
bounty. Then that's a bounty.
No,
but then here's the thing. It's in pence.
Would that mean pay for my bus fare from Heathrow to whatever hostel I'm apparently staying at?
Listen, you and I will talk about this off camera, but
no, we're not talking about it anymore. Negotiations are over. Do you want to see the dog come out? Do you want me to be the aggressor towards you if you continue to go down this line?
Look, man, I've had a long day already.
I understand. You're going to make it longer for yourself.
Negotiations. Oh, man, going to make it longer for myself. I hope so. So, yeah, my apologies. We're going to try to get back to retampering with Luke's contract, maybe keeping Larson here on the scene Going In Raw.
Maybe.
This
enterprise is mine. You can't do anything without my sign-off. So
I got to get one of those Ari Emanuel deals where he can just tell the other guy to fuck off.
No, I would have signed off on that. I don't know why Vince did. I'm not going to.
Anyways,
I got what I wanted already. I don't need anything else.
Can we talk about wrestling? God damn it! Just for fun's sake, though, like assuming we were going to go back to war with Wrestle Talk, let's see him again. Come on. God damn it. Let's see him. God damn it, pal. Look at that beef. Yeah. Let's talk about tag titles, man. Judgment Day got him back. Yay or nay? You like that or what?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah,
you know,
cool
I saw. I didn't see a negative reaction to it per se, but then again, my social media timeline's pretty curated, so I don't get a ton of negativity as is.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people appreciating the various storyline perspectives to it, how the loss of Kevin Owens potentially impacted the outcome of this match. You know, who's to say that Kevin Owens would have made his presence known if he were still on Raw, and helped Cody and Jay potentially retain. I mean, I don't think this thing they're doing with Judgment Day, where they lose the title, they're at odds, they get title back, everything's copacetic. It's this constant tug pull between them being like in complete disarray and being the most unified force in the entirety of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And it all hinges on one thing, and that's gold.
It's kind
winning
of awesome.
Keeps, you know, you hear that from sports teams all the time. Winning solves every problem.
Winning solves everything. You see, as soon as a team like fails, you know, they asked poor Giannis at a press conference, what's it like to be a loser now, basically. And he's like, this isn't a losing, like, you know, we did really well this season. Just because, like, only one team gets to win the title, you know, and it wasn't us, but I see that we made progress. And so you're right. And so winning solves everything. Man, I got to tell you, we're on to something new here when it comes to this era of WWE. And look, you all can call me a E-drone. That's fine. I'll happily wear that. But the level of, golly, like complexity with these characters, Damian Priest, as opposed to being a one-dimensional cardboard cutout of a villain, expressing some remorse over what happened with J.D. McDonough. I saw the back body drop. That might have set a new record for back body drops a million times like, on Twitter.
That might have passed AJ Styles in terms of the craziest back body drop I've ever seen.
Right. And Damian Priest expressing like, oh, man, I kind of feel bad about that one. That kind of stuff. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, that conversation where Sami was trying to like open up about his, you know, how vulnerable he feels that he lost Kevin, how conflicted he feels that he lost Kevin Owens, and Jay saying, hey, I got your back, and him saying, that's my best friend. And Jay's like, well, I got you. He's like, no, I got to sort this out. And then Jay leaves, and then Sami goes right back up to him and says, hey, look, I'm sorry, man. And Jay, like, goddamn, these are acting like real people. Mm-hmm. And I was telling you this during like the pre-show. It was a thought that I had, and you think about Drew McIntyre and that awesome promo that him and Seth had.
Yeah.
Where Seth says, you need to get over this. And Drew's like, look at what I've been through. I beat Brock Lesnar in front of nobody. And then as soon as people came back, I started getting screwed out of my opportunities to hold that title high in front of people. The whole reason we do this. Like he got that high at the Rumble and then had to walk into Mania 3 weeks into a pandemic and beat a guy in front of nobody.
Yep.
And then when he gets a shot at Clash of the Castle, which, boy, they hyped that one up. Mm-hmm. And then he gets screwed out again by the Bloodline. He's like, get over it. How am I supposed to do that? These characters are all suffering from the shared trauma of the Bloodline and other things. But it sort of all stems from the Bloodline. And they're dealing with that in a linear like in a way that like there's no start and stopping here. There's no characters all of a sudden acting out of character and then bouncing back into character when it's convenient. This is a through line of like 20 different people all acting based off a shared history. This is long-term booking. This is the shit that we've asked for decades now. Well, and we're seeing how good it is.
It's not just long-term booking. There's part of that, but there's real, complex characters with depth that aren't one-dimensional. There's no more smiling, happy baby faces who 1,000% of the time do the right thing. You have Drew here who's literally conflicted about how to get involved in things. Should he be what everybody thinks of him as? Good guy Drew McIntyre. What has it gotten him? Nothing. Now he has nothing. So now he has to reevaluate everything. You know, there's I can't, you know, off the top of my head, I can't think of too many characters nowadays in WWE TV, at least ones who are in prominent positions on the show, who come off as one-dimensional.
I know. Yeah.
And that's great to see, because for the longest time, how long was at Finn Balor babyface? His character was stand there and smile. Bob Roode's character was his theme song.
Yeah.
You know,
and it pisses me off thinking
shallow.
about that too. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's great to see characters with depth, with people coming, expressing their conflicting motivations.
Yeah.
It's great to see. It feels more natural. It feels more real.
And here's the great thing about it too. Another awesome thing is that it adds this air of unpredictability. So you and I think, are on the same page on this, and I saw a lot of people echo the same sentiment. I'm sure a lot of people in our chat will as well. The Judgment Day title win in less than 10 days against Jay and Cody didn't feel panicky, didn't feel like it was necessarily out of nowhere. It was all logical, and it serves a greater story. Cody and Jay they're not a cohesive unit. They're a unit out of convenience. Mm-hmm. They happen to like each other and seem to get drunk together, which is great. Yeah. And that was sort of an unintended side effect of them just being friends in real life. And so that added to their chemistry, to be honest with you. But it was a marriage of convenience. And so that short period of time just sort of makes sense. And then you rope in the bloodline story with Jimmy trying to, you know, either he's doing the will of Roman Reigns when Roman says, take care of this Jay and Cody problem, or he's, you know, calling an audible, check. Showing up last night to screw over Jay and Cody. Now, we're going to find out on Friday whether or not Roman wanted him to do that. Maybe he wanted Jay and Cody to get the titles off them and bring them back to the bloodline as opposed to the Judgment Day.
Yeah, you know, because that's what Roman was talking about on Friday, was we need to get those tag titles back. When he asked Jimmy what would be your first move, he said, get Jay. And Roman's like, no, we're past that.
Right, yeah.
I think Roman's focused forward. He's focused on LA Knight. That's the threat in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think Jimmy showing up on Raw has more to do with Judgment Day's negotiations with Jimmy and Heyman while Roman was out. Mm-hmm. They said during the Raw last night that Rhea was gone making a phone call earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Was that to Jimmy?
Right.
Saying time for you to come in and help us now after we helped you on SmackDown.
Right. Yeah. And do you see what they're doing with Rhea as well? Is there like commentaries referring to her as a leader? And then like, I think it was Kevin. And then Corey said, well, hold on. They claim not to have any roles there, but clearly we see what's going on. And Priest is like kind of questioning that. Like, where have you been? I've been taking care of. Why are you questioning me? I'm working for all of us, clearly. But then at the same time, she's this freaking world eater, right? Yeah. Who now has, because of her actions, has to deal with like 5 other people in Saudi Arabia. And that segment was awesome. Let's talk about how many women showed up on the show last night. Oh my God. It was like the entire roster, and they're all either aiming for Becky or Jade's coming for Becky or they're coming for Rhea. That whole segment with Rhea and Shayna and Zoe and Nia and Raquel. Oh, that was so much fun. Yeah, it was so much fun. Everybody looked great.
Yeah, it was cool. And Zoe, I thought that bit where she jumped off the barricade was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, just out of nowhere, just boom, there.
I mean, you got Tegan Nox in a prominent role on TV doing good stuff.
Right.
Her segment backstage was a lot of fun with Chelsea. You have Jade showing up to have an interaction with Becky, another potential tease for something we're going to see in the future probably.
Yeah.
You have the backstage bit between Rhea and Becky. That could be a bit of foreshadowing what we're going to see at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they branded SmackDown and Raw the last 2 episodes as season premieres, and both of them felt very much like season premieres. I know on SmackDown it felt more dramatic in terms of like, all right, this is a little bit of a reset, not a reset, but a refocus in terms of what you're going to see on this show in the future over the next 6-8 months, whatever it could be.
Yeah.
Tease Cody and Roman. They tease Jay and Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit of that on Raw, I felt like, especially with the Rhea Becky stuff. But in terms of really bringing to the fore the complexity of so much that's going on, the damage that's been wrought by Bloodline over the last 3 years, and how that's impacting now that Jay is on Raw, especially. So many people on the roster. I think that was really brought into focus last night, more so than it has in the past. It's been part of the story, but last night it was like hyper focused on so much of that between the Drew Seth segment, Judgment Day beating Cody and Jay for the tag titles, even Rhea calling in maybe the favor to have Jimmy show up and help Judgment Day win.
Yeah.
Like even when the Bloodline's not there en masse, they're there in some capacity.
Yeah, and that's sort of the power of this type of booking, is that Roman could be gone for 2 months or whatever, and the story remains compelling because everybody is still feeling the ripple effects of what, you know, the Bloodline basically wreaks on in the WWE. Yeah, and you have to wonder in terms of the timing of it. Is Triple H as Paul Levesque, you know, as the creative guy, the timing of Vince McMahon being sort of stripped of creative powers, did he view these season premieres as okay, time for me? Like, dude, we saw Bronson Reed and Gunther last night in an absolute classic. Just a great match. Ricochet doing the crazy spot from over the vomitorium.
The vomitorium,
yep. Yeah. Was a great match. And I just wonder if Triple H sees this as, okay, full validation. I've been knighted. So this is going to be it. And we're going full bore, and this is what we can kind of expect every week. Because you're right, there was nothing. SmackDown did feel like a season premiere, and Raw felt to a degree the same way. But really, it was just sort of like those episodes, barring Roman because he's hardly there. Those type of episodes, that type of writing can happen every week, and that's sort of the goal. Is to have those kind of twists and turns every single week, because they've got a lot of different stories going on, many of which can main event on any given week. And you've got characters of these fans, not necessarily the crowd last night, because I don't know what was going on with them. The Oklahoma City crowd was
sleepy crowd in Oklahoma City last night. I know.
And they were doing the what chants. Like, that's just, it's like, what is this? Like, do you not understand what you have in front of you right now? But yeah, barring the crowd, I thought it was great, man. I thought there was so much stuff to like about Raw last night.
Yeah,
and just generally where WWE is right now.
Yeah, totally. And I like that Sammy opened the show and addressed Kevin Owens going to SmackDown. You know, he's out talking in public facing. He tries to paint a more optimistic picture. It's like, you know, he's quietly devastated. You can tell it hurts that his best friend's gone, without him having any say in the situation, without seemingly Kevin Owens having any say in the situation. And he tries to say, well, like, hey, there's good opportunity for him over at SmackDown. There's opportunity for me here and now. But then he has the bit with Jay backstage, and he is just hurting.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And he doesn't want to blame Jay, but he seemed like he feels like I got to put the blame on somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't point the finger at Cody.
Yeah. Because Cody's slick. That's why. Because Cody's slick. I was surprised about that too. Yeah.
And Jay, you know, you can't ask for much more from him. He was like, okay, he listened to Sammy. He was like, all right, if that's what you need, that's what you need. That's cool. And he walks off, and Sammy throws a ladder and has a fit backstage. He goes with Jay and apologizes.
Yeah.
And he's like, he hugs Sammy. It's like, I'm there for you. I have your back.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure on one level that's probably good for Sammy to hear, but on another level, that's not Kevin Owens. That's not the guy he's been in the trenches with for 20 years.
Yeah. He told me understood. Jay said he said, I understand. How often in wrestling do we get those tropes of wrestlers, like when somebody accidentally hits somebody else, it's like, oh no, we got to fight now. It's like humans are a lot more complex than that. Yes. And we've all been in situations we can all relate to hurt and pain and betrayal, et cetera, et cetera. And for characters to openly acknowledge, hey, I know that you didn't entirely mean what you just said. I accept you. That ain't a wrestling trope. No. You know what I mean? And it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing to see that. We're going to talk more about Sami Zayn because the Kevin Owens thing got me thinking about something. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and pay some bills, Larson. What do you say?
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Steve.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a huge fight.
Oh, yeah.
Huge UFC card going down this weekend. You got lightweight champ Islam Makhachev taking on featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski this Saturday. UFC 294 for the lightweight championship.
Dude, my cousin Steve is a huge mark for the UFC. I don't know who he's got winning, but no matter who you got winning, DraftKings Sportsbook is bringing epic action to you. New customers can bet just $5 to land $200 instantly in bonus bets.
That's right, Steve. I've got the DraftKings Sportsbook. Let me open that up right here, the app itself. And I got it in front of me. And they've updated the current line and the betting odds, not only for that massive main event, but for the rest of the card as well. It's right here. I see it in front of me.
That's right. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code RAW. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's code RAW only on DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. The crown is yours. I'll spare you from doing this next part, Larson, because I think I stepped on your line there. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA. Terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions. Terms and responsible gaming resources. Yeah. Wow. We got a couple channel members here. We've got, who is this? Emerald City Pictures. Member for 3 months now. 13 months. Says, have you guys seen the trailer for the Iron Claw about the Von Erichs? What do you guys think about it?
I mean, it seems like they're respectful of the source material, which is the first step in me being interested in.
Looks awesome. Yeah, man.
It looks great.
That's your long way of saying what I'm saying. It's awesome. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that movie. David Matuszek here also, member for 6 months now. Says, MJF is voicing Killer Croc in a crossover between the Justice League and Rooster Teeth's Ruby. I can't wait for this his Hollywood turn. Yeah,
That's
he might
cool.
have a future there.
I think he does. I think he does. We got 485 people watching right now. Of course, we're on a mission.
Oh, it's a mission.
Men on a mission. We need 100. We're looking for 198, 891 subscribers. A palindrome number.
Yeah, right.
We've made some great progress over the weekend and yesterday. We're about 653 off right now. So if all 495 now people watching who haven't subbed went and subbed, we'd be that much closer to getting our goal. It'd be great if we could hit 198,891 subscribers by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the aim. That's the goal. Please help us reach that goal, hitting that subscribe button, that notify bell. And hey, if you're watching here live, VOD, hey, hit that like button. It's one that looks like a thumbs up, what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
We'd love getting 200 likes
by
the time the show is over. It makes us feel good.
We're here to ask for your help.
We are. We're a new podcast. We've been doing this a handful of weeks. We made tremendous strides so soon.
That's why Wrestle Talk is so threatened by us. Right? Because we've been doing it for a couple of weeks. They've been doing it for like a decade. And, they're getting up there in years. They see these young hot talent on the horizon. Ambitious. Energetic. They work 8 hours a day. Guess what? We're lucky to put in 4, but we could do double the work. No, we're lucky to put in 4. We could put in half the work. Oh, man. Anyways. So let's talk about Samuel here because, he opened the show with the promo. This is what I love about this. Characters staying true to who they are. All the time that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were champions or tag team partners in this last run, who spilled their guts in every single promo and who basically said only what was necessary to say? Sammy spilled his guts every time. Sometimes I think Kevin Owens felt too much because he'd take a look at the look on his face and he'd be like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens would usually basically just say, I just want to punch people in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And on Friday, when he debuted, perfectly in character for him just to roll with what he's been given because he's there to punch people in the face. And if it takes him away from Sammy, that look we saw when he came out on Friday, that's all we're going to get. Yeah. He's not going to lament about it. Sami Zayn is the guy who overanalyzes everything, who dives deep down into his feelings, who cares more about the personal connections than necessarily the gold. And so he starts off with his long promo, which gave us his side of things as it pertains to the trade, because we didn't get any of that from Kevin Owens on Friday, which is totally in character.
I would imagine with Kevin, at most we might get a line or two.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like if he saw Cody, he'd be like, so what's the deal with what's this trade?
Yeah. I don't really like the fact that you I don't really like the fact that you did that to me. But that's going to be it. You know?
Like, I don't really appreciate that was traded over here to SmackDown, but hey.
Yeah.
And then he'd move on to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, he comes out. He says, welcome to season premiere. He says, it feels weird. He's wearing a Kevin Owens shirt, too. Kevin Owens was wearing a Kevin Owens shirt.
Yes. A blue Kevin Owens shirt bright blue sneakers.
Yeah.
Brand new.
He's on SmackDown now, yeah.
He's on SmackDown. He's fully SmackDown branded.
He's adapting to his environments. He is moving on immediately. Sami Zayn can't do that. So he says, as most of you know, my tag partner, my brother Kevin Owens, has been moved to SmackDown. I have mixed emotions. He says it outright. I've got mixed emotions. I'm sad our partnership had to end this way, but I'm also excited for him. I know he'll do huge things. And if I'm honest, I'm excited for me too. I get to do something I haven't done for a long time, stand on my own 2 feet and show everyone what I've known for years. That is, Sami Zayn is world heavyweight champion level superstar. I also have to address the elephant in the room, which is why Kevin Owens isn't here anymore. It's because of the arrival of Jey Uso. Nobody was happier than me that Jey came to Raw, but I'm struggling with that now. I'm also struggling with the fact that it took us our entire lives to reach the highest of highs, winning the tag titles in the main event at Mania. After all that work, our entire reign was tainted by the fact that for 6 months we had to deal with Judgment Day, and now tonight, Judgment Day get the tag title opportunity. So yeah, I have mixed emotions, and I don't know what's next for me. But what I do know is this year of my career is by far the best year of my career. And the reason that I reached the highs I did is because each and every one of you. So before we talk about what Judgment Day said, because they interrupted like they always do on a Monday night, which is great. He mentions specifically here, he wants to show that he's world heavyweight championship material. That's another thing that I was going to point out, is that they are setting up so many people as potential challengers and potential world heavyweight champions. We didn't get Sami Zayn beating Roman Reigns, but I think that crowd, if they write it correctly, that crowd will be just as electric if he beats a heel Drew McIntyre for the championship, if Drew actually does win the thing, or even a Seth Rollins. You know, they set this stuff up to be hugely unpredictable. A lot of people thought that Shinsuke was going to win against Seth Rollins. I mean, we in our channel points predictions, Seth was the underdog.
Yeah.
And they're getting better and setting up opponents where you don't know who's going to beat Seth. It could be Drew, maybe it's not. I don't know. They're sort of setting up a story post that loss for Drew McIntyre, which is why I feel like he's probably not going to beat Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Plus he's got contract stuff coming up. But if one of Drew's points, I know he wants money and he deserves it and he should get it. Oh yeah. But if one of his points is I want to do if one of his points is I want to do interesting stuff, I don't know what more you could ask for. You ain't gonna get this over there.
No, you're not gonna get that. The
other
wrestling company.
Oh no. It's a joke, everybody. It's a joke. Relax.
So then Judgment Day interrupts. Finn says nobody should be kicking off the season premiere of Raw, but Judgment Day, what have we got here? Looks to me like we got poor little Sami Zayn, and he's all alone. Priest says it's wild. We've had these thorns in our side for what? Forever? Happy to say that one of them has been removed. The only thing that would make us happier is moving the undisputed tag team idiots. And while I'm at it, I'd be happy to remove Drew McIntyre. He's got a bone to pick with Drew for chucking the briefcase up the ramp.
And he starts just screaming in Spanish. And Rhea has to calm him down. She says, forget about Drew. Focus on tonight. And Dom says, tonight, Mommy's going to tear. Everybody's booing. Mommy's going to tear Shayna apart and put the whole women's division back on notice. And Rhea says, that's right, Dom. And Finn and Priest, you're going to bring the tag titles home to Judgment Day. But I also happen to notice something, Sammy. You seem lost. You know what's funny? The Judgment Day back in the day used to recruit lost superstars and give them direction. Something we tried with Jey Uso. But when it comes to you, we have a different plan. We want to get rid of you permanently. And then Judgment Day go. They surround Sami Zayn. Jey Uso comes down with a couple chairs, hands one to Sami.
Me, Us.
Just me, Us. So he comes down, makes a save. They stand tall, but Sami just sort of looks at the chair, drops it, and Jay's like, Sami, what's up? What's going on? You know, I'm out here to help you. And Sami's like, I don't know. He leaves and he takes off, I think, through the crowd.
Yeah, I like when Judgment Day was surrounding the ring and Jay comes out. Finn, they show a shot of Finn assessing the situation, doing this.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Get down, get off the apron.
Yeah,
waving at everybody. Then
he's the veteran. He's the one who understands. Okay, yep. You know, so they all have their roles there.
He's the tactician.
Yeah, I love that they stick to him.
Strategist. Like he's assessing the situation. It's not in our advantage. Let's get down. It's good. But
yeah.
we actually see the process. Like so often they just get on the apron, and we don't get the shot of whoever's making that decision assessing the situation.
Mm-hmm,
and it's a really simple thing. He's a shot of him. He looks around. It's like, all right, down.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't going to work out for us.
Yeah.
I like that. Then we get a replay or a recap of the Nakamura Ricochet feud. Because next up is their Falls Count Anywhere match. But before that, we're backstage. Jay catches up with Sami and asks him if he's good. And Sami says, I'm good. I just need some time and space. I just need a minute. And Jay's like, come on, talk to me. And Sami says, I want us to be good. I appreciate you having my back out there, but you handed me that chair when you came out, and I was holding it thinking it shouldn't have been you. It should have been Kevin having my back out there. But he's not here anymore, and that's because of you. Everything is going good for you, and I just want to be happy for you. But I mean, you've got Cody, and that's great. You got the tag titles, and that's great. You got your friends at the championship, and I have neither anymore because of you. And Jay says, hey, man, I didn't know you feel that way. You still got me. It is what it is then, Oos. And he turns and walks away, saying, you know, not like angry, just like, okay, that's how it is. That's cool. So Sami gets upset. He starts throwing stuff around backstage, and he turns around. He follows Jay and says, man, forget that. I'm sorry. It's been a tough week. I'm happy for you. You deserve everything. I'm sorry. Are we good? And he extends his hand for Jay to shake it. And Jay just kind of looks at him for a bit and goes, yeet,
yeet.
Pulls him in for a
smile on his face, yeah. So after that, we had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ricochet. Falls Count Anywhere. Yeah,
really fun bout.
This was just really fun stuff. I just recommend people go check this one out.
Yes. If no other reason to see Ricochet do the shooting star press off the vomitorium.
Oh my gosh!
And it's not like close to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They were up in the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like someone could have taken a tumble down the stairs. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was crazy.
The margin for error on that was small.
Super thin. Yeah, for sure. There was a great bit here with Hurricane too. With Nakamura says stand back her because you see Shane Helms back there. Yeah. There's a Ricochet coming through. Nakamura tried a GTS, and apparently that lit up the internet. People were like, oh, and then like USA Network, I think on their social made a CM Punk reference. They should probably stop doing that. To be honest with you, they should probably stop. If he's not going to show up, they should probably stop doing that.
Probably stop doing it. I mean, I like Nakamura using the GTS because, you know.
He does it really well.
He does it really well, unlike that
other
wrestler who
gotta
employs
stop
GTS.
Doing that. We gotta stop doing that.
Not talking about Kenta. Kenta does it great.
Kenta does it awesome.
He invented the move, by the way. Kenta
did. Yeah, he did. So anyways, let's see here. So Ricochet. So we're back. We go everywhere. Back into the ring. Ricochet sent to the apron, hits a springboard 450. Nakamura kicks out at 2. He heads back up to the top rope. Shinsuke gets to his feet and heads up top. Ricochet blocks him and tosses Nakamura off the top. Shinsuke's on the apron now as Ricochet drags Shinsuke by his hair. Nakamura kicks Ricochet off the top onto the table. Nakamura goes back down, sets up for Kinshasa, hits it through the broken table to get the win here. And then he's posing in the ring. Ref is checking on Ricochet. And backstage, we go to Caden, Katana, and Tegan. They're all talking. Chelsea walks up with Piper, says, what do we have
Nikki
here?
Cross was in the frame, too.
That's right. Yeah, she was in the background, yeah. Sulking. She says, what do we have here? A viewing party of when one half of the women's tag champs beats Natalya. Speaking of, where is she? Shouldn't she be here finding a naive rookie to manipulate? Unlike me, of course, who took a rookie like Piper and made her champion. Tegan's like, didn't Piper force you to be her partner so she could be champion? And then they're like, oh, and Tegan says, go bother someone else, please. And Green says, actually, I already tried to speak to Adam Pearce. Tegan, is it? Don't cross me or I'll do what Piper's going to do to Natalya, to you. And Tegan's like, I may not have won the NXT Women's Championship, but if there's anything I learned from the man is don't let anyone disrespect you. I just wonder if you're quick enough to hide behind Piper before I smack you in the jaw. And Chelsea's like, you're lucky we have things to do. P, let's get out of here before these losers rub off on us. And then we've got Piper Niven versus Natalya.
Yeah. Before that, we had a Gunther video package, all sorts of CG stuff. I think he booted somebody's head and it like disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It was pretty neat. Put a lot of money into that one. That one didn't end up in the toilet with Vince stomping on it.
No.
So yeah, we have Piper versus Natalya. Relatively quick bout here. Piper gets the win with the running crossbody. So Natalya's going for a sharpshooter. Chelsea gets on the apron, distract her for a bit, and allows Piper to kick Natalya off. Right into Chelsea, though. And then Piper, running crossbody to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. After that, let's see here.
So they're posing. Chelsea and Piper are posing her and Natalya. They start talking crap. Tegan runs out to make the save. She goes after Chelsea. And then her and Natalya double team Piper, and then Piper rolls out of the ring.
Yeah. So
looks
backstage,
like Natalya and Tegan might be next in line for the tag titles, and I will stop interrupting you.
No, that's good because you're right. That's probably going to be the case. And that's the thing. It's like you got Becky now with the NXT title. That feels like a double title. It feels like a mid card women's title, which works perfect. And then it's also the main goal on NXT for them. Yeah.
I wonder how many times Shawn Michaels is going to get a call from Adam Pearce saying, "Hey, can we have your title defended on Raw?" Before he's like, "Why can't it be defended on my show?" You don't want NXT to turn into, and I don't think it's going to, but you don't want it to turn into like Ring of Honor, where like the one episode I watched lately, it was just Athena and that championship, no Joe, no Eddie, no MJF and Adam Cole, nobody else. The no Young Bucks and Hangman. Nope.
It's not even, nothing happens there. This all happens on AEW programming.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
No.
But as long as Becky keeps on showing up and as long as she's on a roll right now. I really love Becky's role right now. I think it's great.
Oh, I do too.
Having these matches on Raw and then also being there for NXT for the big shows, not the big show, their big shows.
Well.
So backstage, Judgment Day, is Aaron Priest says, part of me really wanted to see JD get beat up last week, but after seeing what Drew did, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a little bit bad. Which is why on the season premiere of Raw, we need to take out Drew McIntyre.
Finn's all, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And then Dom gets up and says, Mommy said, don't worry about Drew. And you could tell he did not want to stand up to these guys.
No.
And then Priest says, dog. And then Rhea comes in and Priest's like, perfect timing. Where have you been? And then Rhea says, I had a phone call. And then Priest says, oh, making a lot of those lately, huh? And she's like, it's Judgment Day business. I handled Drew. You trust me, right? He's like, yeah. He says, you focus on winning back those tag belts. And Finn says, oh, don't worry about us. Are you focused on your match tonight? And the Dom says, Mommy, do you want me to be out there in your corner? And Rhea's like, I got this. I'm going to remind the women's division why Mommy's always on top. And it starts tonight with Shayna Baszler. Then we remind the rest of Raw who runs it. And then she leaves and both the Priest and Finn look at Dom. He's all smiling. And they're like, ooh, calm down, man.
Yeah.
He's getting bricked up.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Seth Rollins makes his entrance. We go to commercial. We come back. We have a replay of what happened last week. Seth starts talking, says, Oklahoma City, welcome to the season premiere of Monday Night Rollins. We have a hell of a season finale. Sorry, we had a hell of a season finale last week. Found a new contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Drew McIntyre. Hell of a guy he is. He comes out and issues a challenge to me. Said he wants to be 100%. Great guy, eh? But then I get jumped by Priest. He doesn't do a damn thing, and I'm confused. Then Dom flies out here with the Money in the Bank contract, and Drew is my white knight. It got weirder and weirder, but guys, I can't answer it. Only Drew can. So Drew, consider this an invitation. Come out here and join us. Premiere Monday Night Raw. Steve, you could be Drew McIntyre.
Oh, nice. So
you can do this in your Joe Coffey accent if you like.
Yeah, okay. So the part I said I want you to close is 100%. No, I'm not going to do that. So Drew says, so the part I said I wanted you as close to 100% as possible, that involved not standing in the middle of the ring where you get jumped. I'm not babysitting you for the next couple weeks.
So Seth says, how kind of you, but what I learned over the last few months is that I can handle my business on my own. My question is, are you handling your business on your own, or have you enlisted a bit of help?
Drew says, I think everybody knows Drew McIntyre handles his own business. You seem to have something on your mind, though. Care to elaborate, buddy?
And Seth goes, oh, yes, I do. Fine folks in TV truck, could you please roll the footage? And he says, here we have a benign conversation with Ricochet and Adam Pearce, but who is that in the background? They zoom in and they do a vignette, so only Drew and Rhea are highlighted.
Computer enhance.
Yeah, computer enhance. He says, oh, the leader of Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley, with a very large, muscular, ruggedly handsome man, looks a bit Scottish to me. Care to elaborate?
And Drew says, first of all, I ain't a thirsty creep like Jey Uso. She came to me, and what we talked about is none of your business. You need to stop worrying about everything but Drew McIntyre taking that damn title from you.
Seth says, thank you for clearing that up. Let me make something clear to you. No one has taken this title off me, especially you. I get it. The last couple of years messed with your head. Huge opportunities, big matches, and just when you had success, you had big failures. You're freaked out of failure. You enlisted some help from the Judgment Day. That won't work out how you think. Dealing with Judgment Day is a slippery slope you don't want to go down.
So Drew says, you seem a bit rattled. He says, you should be. I remember the last time we had a world title match and I beat your ass. He says, I don't need anyone to fight my battles. And if you had done your research and watched the tapes, you'd see the big matches had outside interference, mist in my eyes, low blows, the bloodline.
And then Seth interrupts and says, well, you shut the hell up about the bloodline. You've got to move on. The bloodline have clearly moved on from you. Let me put it to you plainly. And I mean this with respect. Then he says, get over it.
Yeah. He says, get over it. He's getting pissed now. He says, you like being world champion, having thousands sing your song every week. Yeah. So the crowd starts singing the song. He says, I have a catchy theme song I could bring back, but I don't need that crutch. He says, that was the dream. It was my dream, too. When I achieved that in the main event of WrestleMania, when I beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes, no one was there. Not only was it a tough time for the company, we were in a pandemic and we needed somebody to step up, and Drew McIntyre stepped up. Crowd cheered that one. He says, missed moment after missed moment. By the time everyone came back, the moment had passed, but I captured lightning in a bottle a second time. In the UK, over 50,000 wanted me to win, and what happens? The bloodline screws me, so sorry if I'm not ready to get over it so quickly. The third time lightning strikes, you better find a way to reinvent yourself for the 53rd time after I beat you and take that title from you at Crown Royal.
So Seth says, Drew, nobody understands what you're going through better than I do. I know how difficult it is to get back to the top of the mountain. I spent 4 years digging to get back to the top. All I'm hearing from you, though, is a bunch of excuses, pointing fingers, making excuses. I promise you that's not going to get you where you want to go. I'm going to beat you at Crown Jewel, and it'll be the best thing that happened to you because for the first time in a long time, you'll have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, man.
So Seth walks off. Drew's upset. And then we get a Bronson Reed video package hyping up his match against Gunther. And then Imperium's music hits. Kaiser, Vinci make their way to the ring because Kaiser's got a match against John Gargano. You know, when Seth said to Drew, all I'm hearing is excuses and pointing fingers. I mean, Drew is making good points. He stepped up when the company needed someone to step up. He's in a position to win. Bloodline cost him the match. He's not making excuses. He's explaining the situation.
Yeah, I know, but you know how it is. I mean, and again, it's sort of the thing that I really like about it, because too often in pro wrestling, the trope is you lose, it doesn't matter how, and you just move on.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes they'll address it and they'll be like, oh, let's do it in a steel cage. And then even if then somebody interferes, they move on. Well, I like this, that like things matter.
Yep.
They matter. Yep. You know, you get screwed over, you say, and we sort of this sort of started, and I wonder if he did it himself, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens always, and this is when Vince was in charge, it doesn't matter. Kevin Owens would always refer to his own history. He would always use his own history to inform who he is now, even if creative was not terribly good for him at any given time. Mm-hmm. And so I love the idea that they're taking something that's always taken for granted.
Yeah.
You get the loss and you have to move on and you just deal with it. And they're actually using it as motivation for Drew McIntyre because traditionally, I think Seth's point is traditionally in pro wrestling, you lose, you lose. That's just it. You deal with it and you got to get over it. Well, Drew is actually showing us what it would actually be like if you get screwed over time after time after time. If you step up when nobody else does, you beat Brock Lesnar in less than 5 minutes in front of nobody. And there's a little aspect of like meta storytelling there too as well, because I stepped up and they didn't even give me the dignity of holding that title an extra couple months when everybody came back. Because if you remember, Bobby won right before, if I'm not mistaken.
A little bit before, yeah.
A little bit before. And Drew lost his title shot against Bobby, the rematch, at WrestleMania in front of people. Yeah. And so they didn't even give him one last little moment in front of people to hold that title high.
Nope.
And so there's that little bit of like realism there where, yeah, that actually happened. They didn't give him that moment, but he's framing it within the context of the storyline. And yeah, it's great because it's like, yeah, that's how people would be. He had gotten screwed time and time again. He's got every right to spill these beans here.
Absolutely. Speaking of someone who lost, John Gargano lost here against Ludwig with the help of Giovanni Vinci. So a couple times, Kaiser's looking for his finish. Gargano escapes it. So Kaiser flips over the ropes and lands on the floor with Vinci and starts arguing with him. It's essentially like, hey, help me out here, dude. So then he gets back in the ring. Gargano hits him with Widow's Bell, then follows with one final beat. He covers, but he's a little too close to the rope because then Vinci goes over and pokes Gargano in the eye. So Gargano, covers his face and gets up. So then John rolls out, goes after Vinci, slams his head into the announce table a bunch of times. Vinci escapes, runs into the ring. Gargano follows, runs right into an enziguri from Kaiser, follows with the DDT to get the win.
Bad move, John.
Bad move, John.
That's why you need a Champ out there. You think Champ is still in the dressing room?
He's like that.
That was so goofy last week. So backstage, Becky's walking around. Candice and Indy walk up. Indy says, I appreciate all the chances you're giving to everyone, but when are you going to give a chance to the person who never lost that title in the first place? You guys recall, Indy was drafted, and she just vacated the title. I think she was injured at the time, too.
She was. She had a broken ankle or foot or something like that.
Yeah. So Becky says, you're right. You never lost the title, and I always wanted to fight you. So I'm going to go to Pearson, make it official. They walk off as Becky bumps into Rhea. They just stare, and then Rhea smirks and walks away. And Becky just mutters, Becky 2 belts?
Literally as the show was fading out to commercial.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
It was good. So Drew's walking backstage, runs into Sammy, says, I know things were tense with Jay and I last week. I respect you getting in between us and trying to calm us down. Since you left the bloodline, myself and a lot of the other guys in the locker room were apprehensive about it. But you stepped up, worked your ass off, become a true leader. And Sammy's like, oh, thanks. I appreciate that. And I respect you for going out of your way to tell me. And Drew goes, yeah, I thought that until I saw what happened earlier. You instantly forgave Jay. He's done the complete opposite of what you've done. The right-hand man comes over here and expects forgiveness and trust from everyone. Sammy goes, look, we don't see eye to eye on this, and I don't want to get involved in whatever you have with Seth. But one thing he said that I agree with is that you need to put the bloodline stuff out of your head. Trust me, nobody knows how hard it is to put them in the rear view, but Jay has tried hard to have everybody believe him. He's done all he can, and you're the only one who doesn't buy it. From one person to another, putting the bloodline behind you is hard. I can relate. And Drew goes, oh, relate. Seems like everyone can relate to Drew McIntyre tonight. No offense. You can't relate because you've never been a world champion. You don't know the pressure it brings. And your happy-go-lucky attitude and changing alliances with the wind, it's not going to make you a champion acting like that.
Yeah.
Sammy says, look,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'll tell you what if there's any doubt about what level I'm at, you can find out for yourself in the ring 101 next week. And Drew says, never back down from a fight. See you next week.
Yeah, man. Thought that was awesome. I thought that was really good. Again, people with their own perspectives, not just, and they're just using logic to forward these stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. So Rhea's music hits. She comes down to the ring. She says, everyone wants a part of Monday Night Mommy. She says, hell, even Nia Jax decided to come back to get rid of me, but that didn't work out for her, did it? In my absence, the women's division tried to prove how tough they were. I had Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and now Shayna trying to prove they're the baddest woman in WWE. The reality is this is my division. Mommy will always be on top. So then we get Shayna Baszler versus Rhea Ripley. So Rhea goes towards the finish here. Rhea goes for Riptide. This is a really good match. Rhea goes for Riptide. Shayna counters it with an armbar. Rhea tries to block it, gets Shayna on her back. Rhea deadlifts her up. Crowd pop big for that. Hits a power bomb. Nia Jax comes down the ramp, gets on the apron. Raquel comes down, drags her back off. They start fighting. Zoe Stark just comes out of nowhere, flipping senton off the barricade, wipes out Nia as Raquel goes after her and throws her into the ring. Raquel hits a big boot to Nia, but runs shoulder first into the steps, and then Zoe attacks Rhea for the DQ. So then just chaos breaks out.
Yeah.
Rhea throws Zoe into Shayna as Rhea turns back to look at Nia. She's like, come on, bring it. Get in here. Let's do this now. It's awesome. Like, Rhea Ripley is so good at that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
She's just like asking for everybody to come at her. She sort of like draws a line in the sand too. She was like, this is the line you're not going to cross. So Nia's about to get in there, and Rhea ducks a lariat, and Zoe hits a kick to the head. Rhea with a headbutt, Zoe with another kick. As Rhea lifts Nia, Zoe drop kicks Nia onto Rhea. Zoe then dumps Nia out of the ring, and she stands tall. I love this because if the story is simply who's the baddest person in WWE, and Rhea's got to like prove that amongst everybody else in Saudi Arabia, this ain't an excuse to get the title off her without eating a pin. This is her, because we see this later on with Pierce. She says, then I'll annihilate all of them.
Yeah, it's her asserting dominance is what it is.
Yes, exactly. And it is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that match.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're backstage. Becky's talking to Adam Pearce. He says, it's funny. I was thinking next Monday, Becky Lynch and Indy Hartwell for the NXT Women's title. I'll make sure it's okay with Sean in NXT and make it official. And then Zia Lee storms in and goes, Becky, first Tegan, now Indy. What about me? And Becky says, I already have 2 competitors, but if you want to be the third, just say the word. And Zia says, I will, but on my time. So Becky says, everyone wants a piece of you when you're the man. As Pierce is talking to someone, and Jade Cargill walks in.
Yeah.
And Jade steps up to Becky and says, nice title. Look at the NXT belt. And Becky says, get in line, and walks off.
It was awesome.
Jade goes,
oh, yeah.
She's funny. And
Yeah,
Pierce is
Pierce.
like, welcome to Raw.
And Jade has like a super blue thing on.
Like a
He's
shawl
like,
or something.
Yeah. He's like, we got to get you a red one of those. She's like, yeah, we do. Yeah, man. Oh, dude. Star power.
They're building up the where's she going to go?
Yeah. And it's a
great.
different dynamic, her and Becky. You know? Like, Becky's like, I'm taking on all challengers here, so get in line. And Jade's like, get in line. But it's funny because it's kind of a similar dynamic between Becky and Charlotte, you know, in a broad sense. And then we saw Jade and Charlotte in that last segment on Friday, and it's like, yeah, that's good stuff.
Yep.
And every time Jade shows up, commentary always says that's a game changer right there. So then, before in advance of the Bronson Reed Gunther match, we've got Cody and Jey Uso backstage. She asks them about their tag title match tonight, but asks Jey about what happened with Sammy earlier. And Jay's like, Sammy just got a lot going on, but I'm here for him. I got his back always. He's my dog. And then Cody says, no, Jackie, do you feel him? Because she's like, yeah, I feel him. And then she mentions feeling Usi, and Cody says, the season premiere of Raw, it's all about maximizing opportunities. We saw Ricochet and Shinsuke tear each other apart. We saw Zoe Stark do the right thing and square up with Rhea. Judgment Day want to run Raw, but I see a whole locker room with bright futures, and one faction won't cast a shadow on them. Tonight, I want to uphold the legacy of these titles with my man. And he says, Jay, say the word. Jay says, yeet. And they walk off. The ultimate politician, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's great.
Truly is. Then we get the Intercontinental title bout, Bronson Reed versus Gunther. Big, meaty men slapping meat. That's what this was.
This was good,
and it was great.
This was
Gunther
great.
was like really laying into those chops. He had Bronson Reed's chest all blistering up. Fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic. I saw a great breakdown of this match. Man, I wish I bookmarked it on Twitter. But it was it sort of broke down how Gunther had to change his whole philosophy to deal with like a big man like Bronson Reed here. Yeah. And he capitalized off Bronson Reed making small mistakes to win this match. But yeah, just a really, really stellar match.
Oh, really good. And you know, a couple times, or at least once, Gunther tried to get Bronson up for a powerbomb and couldn't do it. Eventually does.
Yeah.
So Reed's looking for the tsunami. Gunther avoids it, hits the drop kick, a lariat, follows with the splash off the top, gets a 2 count there. Gunther's pissed, and then gets him up for the powerbomb to get the win.
Yeah,
great stuff. Great stuff.
Great stuff. After that, oh man, Jackie's backstage with the Miz, and I was like, oh, do we really need this right now? I don't really need this. So Miz does this thing where he just complains about shit, and then Nia Jax shows up out of nowhere, grabs the mic from Jackie, and then she says, she looks straight in the camera, says, do you see what's going on here? Everyone has hit me with their best shot, but I'm still standing and looking pretty. I haven't hit anyone with my best shot yet, and if I hit them with any shot, they stay down. On Monday Night Raw, I do the squashing. And then she shoves the mic back into Miz and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So then we're backstage, and Rhea's talking to Pierce. Says, the only business you need to handle is stopping people from interfering in my matches. Either you do this, or I do this, or I'll get the division. Sorry, either you get this division order, and I will. And Pierce says, Rhea, it's the season premiere. We handle things differently from now on. You had a chance to get the division order, but all that happened was chaos. If you want things to be in order, you do it my way. A crown jewel, defend the title against Nia, Shayna, Zoe, and Raquel in a fatal 5-way. Raquel's like, sorry, Rhea's like, this is a joke. A cruel joke, but fine. I'll eradicate them all. And so she leaves, and then into Cher with Jinder walk in, and Jinder says, Pierce, we need to talk.
Ooh, yeah. Been a while since we've seen them guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So after that, we get this goofy Alpha Academy bit. Maxine is teaching some Pilates to Alpha Academy. They got Akira Tozawa in tow, too. And he's got like little tiny dumbbells. Pretty funny stuff. Gable
He's just doing one move over and over again.
Yeah. He was like, that was terrible. Keep it up. Otis, hit me with one. Gunther, that was for you. This is a new season of Raw, and I'm coming after the IC title, and the Academy's coming after the tag championships. So
he's got to focus on one thing.
No, this is their way of saying he's not going to win the IC title. That's what it is. I mean, there are too many other interesting people that could beat Gunther. Like, I look at Shinsuke Nakamura, man, that would be something else. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, but a lot of interesting people there for Gunther. And I just don't. I don't know that they can get Chad Gable.
Oh, I agree.
Without a lot of effort.
Yeah,
I don't know that they can get him out of the comedy stuff. I just don't know. I don't know that they want to from a business perspective either. They've got a lot of serious wrestlers, and a comedy guy is just not gonna. He's a grade A wrestler. The dude is awesome. I'd love to see him in the G1, but in the WWE, he's doing WWE stuff. And he's got a great position for himself, probably sells a decent amount of merch. He's always on TV. That just doesn't really square with also being Intercontinental Champion. It just doesn't, in my opinion.
Time will tell. So when Alpha Academy, when Chad Gable mentions going after tag titles, New Day walk in and say, tag titles? What do you mean? Gable says, New Day, late for class. Grab a dumbbell. And Kofi says, I thought you called to ask us for advice. Wood says, we saw the signal. If you're talking about the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships, that means you're talking about the New Day. So, they start doing the dance with it. So Otis says, do you think you know all about the hips? And he starts gyrating and air humping. And they all start swiveling. And Gable says, shoosh, next week, first time ever, Alpha Academy versus New Day. And we'll find out who has the best hips. And he goes to says, thank you. Instead, Tozawa says, arigato. And then he's still doing his move.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And they're all like, oh, look at that.
It's good comedy stuff.
Yeah, it is good comedy stuff.
Make for a good, solid depth tag team. So after that, we've got, we got a really nice little video package of Kofi in Ghana where he built a library and education center. That was really cool.
That's great. So cool.
So backstage, Gunther walks up as Kaiser claps for him. Gunther says, fantastic job tonight. First big defeat for Gargano since he came back. You fulfilled your responsibility. And then he turns to Vinci and says, you didn't. And Vinci says, un momento, I helped him win the match. And Gunther turns to Kaiser and says, earlier on, I saw Johnny Gargano walking around backstage. After his match next week with Gio, I expect him to be stretchered out of the building. It'll be your responsibility. And then Kaiser looks at Vinci and says, no pressure. That ain't going to happen. He's going to beat Gio.
Oh, yeah, he is going to beat
No
Gio.
Vittoria for Gio. No.
Then we got our main event, Judgment Day, challenging Cody and Jey Uso for those tag titles and beating them for tag titles. Like, they had this match won. Cody and Jey did, like, within the first 5 minutes, basically.
Yeah.
Because Cody hits a crossroads. And then, is that when Dom came out? Yeah, Dom comes to the ring. Puts Priest's foot on the bottom rope. And then Cody almost does the SpongeBob walk, chasing Dom around the ring. Finn wipes him out with the clothesline ringside. And then the match is really on. Then we have like an even playing field from that point onward, because early on, Jey and Cody were just wiping the floor with Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So at one point, Jey goes for a splash. Finn blocks it with the knees, covers Jey, gets a 2 there. Dom gets on the apron, so Sammy runs down to take him out of it. He lays into Dom, throws him in the ring post, then the steel steps. So then Priest comes down the floor, wipes out Sammy. Cody then throws Priest over the barricade. Cody's looking for the tag, can't get it. Finn takes out Jey, and then on the floor, this was great. We don't see this often enough. The ref's looking at the ring of the action, so Priest goes over to Cody, just kicks him right in the balls.
Yeah.
It makes all the sense. The ref's not looking, just do it.
It definitely does. I know, exactly.
So then Priest hits a razor's edge on Cody through the announce table. Jey then takes out Priest with a dive. Jey gets Finn back in the ring. Finn hits him with Jey gets back in the ring. Finn hits him with a sling blade shotgun drop kick. Looks for the coup de grace. Jey evades, hits a spear. He goes up top, looking for the Uso splash. He lands on his feet because Finn rolls out of the way. Catches Priest with the spear. So he goes back on the apron, about to go back up top, but Jimmy Uso runs in, hits him with a super kick. Jey tumbles into the ring. Jimmy runs out of there. Finn goes up top, hits Jey with the coup de grace to get the win.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Jey is branded in blue. Has been since he moved to Raw.
Yeah.
Jimmy always wears red.
Yeah.
Well, I know red is the original Bloodline color. That's in their merch. That's in their presentation.
Yeah, and blood, red,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the land of WWE, what's the opposite of what color is opposite of red? It's blue. It's not green.
It's not green. That's the color wheel.
That's the color wheel.
Complementary colors.
Right. That's the actual universe. In WWE universe, there's red and there's blue. So I assume that's why.
I assume that's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, if you wore green, it just look like that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Volt would be awesome.
Volt would be great.
But Volt's more like a green-yellow combo.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It'd be cool if he had like just sort of, I don't know, like black and white themed. But he also they like the pot, like they have like usually the black attire and then a color pops out of it. And I guess blue just sort of, like I said, is opposite of red in WWE
color wheel. Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. Goes to Raw. Where's blue?
Yeah. All right. You want to answer a couple questions?
Yeah, let's answer some questions. I'll start with this one because it's in YouTube chat from the only 2-time Big Blue Predictions champion, John Hosey. By the way, before I get to John's question here, I want to bring this up right now. You can click join on YouTube or go over to patreon.com/Steven Larson and become a channel member or a YouTube patron, a member of the Friendo Club, and enjoy bonus episodes, the question threads, which we're about to read from, and like John here, predictions, challenges every single month. We got a bonus prediction challenge coming up at the Saudi Arabia show, and the Week of Champions 3. Will John Hosey retain the Big Blue Championship, which nobody's ever retained?
No, nobody's ever retained. It's never happened. Across
AW Full Gear and WWE Survivor Series, and then maybe if there's another one in there, we'll do like a third one. I don't know.
There's any more. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's it.
So we'll figure that out. But yeah, right now, if you hit join on the YouTube, it's $5 a month, or go to the patreon.com/Steven Larson, kick in $5 a month over there. That's how you can get access to all that stuff. And honestly, it just really helps support Going in Raw. We got a new patron, Blake Peterson. We mentioned some of our new channel members earlier in the show. So thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it.
What was John's question?
John's question is, why can't a funny guy Win championships, though. If he wasn't going to win it, why do they keep bringing it up? That's why, because I thought that last week, too. He keeps on bringing it up, and I thought that's good. But this week when he said, and we're going after the tag titles, that's when I sort of thought, okay, they're going to retire his quest to go after the Intercontinental Championship and focus on the tag titles. That's just how I see that now. If they shift his character, I just look. Why can't a funny guy win? Because usually you do the serious stuff and you add the comedy, you sprinkle the comedy on it. Like Edge sometimes back in the day, Kurt Angle had some really awesome comedy stuff. Jericho, obviously. But Gable has been for a long time two things: a wrestler with not a great actual win-loss record,
and
a
losing wrestler.
Yeah, losing wrestler, a loser, and then also like a comedy guy before he's a really good serious wrestler. And I feel like that's a little bit backwards. And just traditionally speaking, they don't go that route. They just don't.
Yeah, WWE typically does not, and you see someone like Orange Cassidy, who started out as maybe a 500 record comedy wrestler until his matches got good numbers on YouTube. His segments got good numbers in terms of the ratings. And so Tony Khan pushed him, seemingly.
Yeah.
And they found a really good way to keep the essence of the character there while making him, when necessary, more serious, more intense, more focused on winning and not about, his usual antics in the ring.
Yeah.
Now, if they could do something similar with Chad Gable, then they could be onto something. But it's just traditionally how WWE approaches things, and maybe that might change now that Triple H is fully in charge. It seemed like very much a Vince thing. In Vince's mind, if you're a comedy guy, you're a comedy guy and nothing but.
Yeah. And that's entirely possible. And at this point, benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt, they might do it. They might successfully do it. Triple H is, though. Like, you always look at when Triple H came up, and a lot of what he takes creatively is from sort of the Vince McMahon template. It'll be interesting to see if he adheres to that. But then he was also, I'm pretty sure Triple H also probably really appreciated Kurt Angle and could see that maybe in Chad Gable. I mean, the parallels are endless with Chad Gable and Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll try to find a way to do that. It's just, there's a lot of depth on the roster.
Yeah.
And whoever does defeat Gunther, it's going to be a special occasion.
Yeah.
Will it be Chad Gable? I don't see it. It's possible. I wouldn't, I wouldn't say that he's got like a 2% botch chance. I'd say it's higher than that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I see it more with him than I saw Otis cashing in Money in the Bank. I'll say that. Way more.
Way more. AJ Otani here with the super chat says, "Are you guys excited about the new women's tag belts with the Italian leather? Are they going to be designed to Chelsea Green's exact specifications?"
Oh, you gotta hope so. Honestly, those titles are cursed, so probably a great idea to to rebrand them. I don't know if they actually will, though.
Yeah. Let's see. Zach Sparks here asks, if you had to turn one kayfabe moment to a shoot moment, what would it be?
One kayfabe moment into a shoot.
What if Goldberg actually really did smash up Sid's car?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Woof. Boy, that's a dark side of the ring. Yeah, that's a good one. Golly, there's a lot of bad answers out there. Kayfabe moments into shoot moments. Oh, boy. Geez. How about, like, remember when, like, DX gave Michael, well, that was kind of a shoot. I mean, they really did give him a bad wedgie.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
That was kind of real.
That was real. The wedgie was real, yeah.
It'd be kind of shocking if, because didn't Kane set JR on fire? What if that was a shoot? That would be like an all-time shoot moment there. Top 10 moments that became shoot, fake moments that became shoot moments.
Yeah.
That'd be number one if a dude actually got lit on fire.
Yeah, no.
That'd be crazy.
Messed up. Alex Foster here says, what moments from your friendship would Drew McIntyre try to convince you not to forgive each other? Probably when I farted near Steve when he was making a hamburger. Steve kind of still holds that against me.
I'm just a red-blooded man trying to make a burger, and then this clown comes over, and he farts all over my beef. Let's see that beef, Larson. Come on, let's see it.
More beef.
God damn it. Look at the vascularity.
Not a whole lot of vascularity right now. I'm working on that.
Yeah, you got to get some bands during the show so you can get some vascularity.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, Curious Corduroy has a good answer. Jeff Hardy throwing his viscous urine at Sheamus.
That is the answer.
Kayfabe to shoot, yeah.
That is the... yeah,
yes.
The bean says Carlito had John Cena stabbed. Let's see here.
Jimmy Thomas asks, how much longer do you think WWE will keep the idea of undisputed tag titles? I feel like the tag teams on SmackDown are getting left behind.
Oh, man. You know, here's the thing, man. I get it. I understand it. Like people, but just last week, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller got a shot at the tag titles. No, they're not like a main event type act, but like they got the shot. Yeah. Honestly, as long as, number one, the titles should really mean something. Yep. And you should be able to develop stories just like they're doing they have been doing with Kofi and the Viking guys. You should be able to develop stories that are compelling away from the titles. Mm-hmm. In which case, if you're doing something interesting, it doesn't matter if it's for the titles or not.
Yep.
Yep. This is a great question. White Brownie says, with the way Becky is making the NXT title feel important, should WWE consider having her defend the title at Survivor Series against an NXT talent to help elevate the title? So I don't know what they're going to do for Survivor Series. Definitely, I would love to see the NXT titles be defended at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You got 2 nights, one on each night. I think that'd be terrific. I really do. Yeah, better than having a premium live event that same weekend. Have the main titles defended there.
That'd be awesome. I agree. New Kyle here says, what songs apart from Swerve's theme song would you have Akira Tozawa do his dumbbell dance to?
Oh, the Swerve one's a good one. The Pretty Deadly theme song. That's very catchy.
That's good. Gosh, I thought I had an answer in my head.
Fandango's theme song.
Yeah. Then you have to do.
Oh, there we go. White Brownie says the deviled eggs.
Andrew Connolly says, I'm in a pickle. My uncle works at Lincoln Financial Field where WrestleMania 40 is going to be this year and has offered me 2 tickets for either night, but I don't know what night to pick. Any suggestions?
Night 2.
Night 2.
I think night 1 was better this past year, but night 2.
I think night 1 is generally the better all-around show, because I feel like 2 of the last 3 years, night 1 has been the better night.
I think you're right.
Night 2 is when the major stuff happens.
Yeah, you want to be there when Cody finishes a story, man.
Yeah, especially if you like Cody, then yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is a good question from Time War. What would a yearly season premiere episode of Going in Raw look like? A fresh coat of paint. That's it.
I did recently, I redid the little graphics here and everything, but what you see is what you get, man. I mean, if you do, sleep on it, think about it. If you're like, hey, I'd like a new adventure for 20,000 pence. Wow. Going over to England,
it's $200, dude.
And then Luke,
$200,
20,000 pence though. And then Luke plops down into your spot right there. Yeah. That would be a season premiere for us. Steve and Luke. Steve here. I'm Luke.
It's not the same.
And it's so kind too. I'm Luke. He's so kind.
I know sounding. Luke's a great guy, but
right. Wouldn't you want to see him on Going in Raw?
No, I want to see me and you because that's my job. That's what I do.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to move away from my family. I have to leave my family for $200.
20,000 pence.
That's $200, fool.
All right, look, man. I'm not gonna force you into it. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. I'm just saying.
I don't want to do it.
Make I don't even think about it. Rational decision right now, man. Come on. You want to use logic and reason.
Yeah, $200. Not enough.
We'll end on this one from CKY Halo. Apparently, he's a big CKY fan and a big Halo fan.
And
combine
Halo,
them the both. What's your favorite CKY song, Larson?
I just know the one. Why do you know the name of it? But I know the riff.
No, go ahead and do it. I'll see if I know it.
I can't. I mean, it's going to sound like Inspector Gadget if I try to do it now.
Yeah,
but you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Inhuman Creation Station, maybe it's that one.
Oh, is that what it is? I have no idea what it's called. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
99. I don't know what it is. He says, I just want a birthday shout out.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, CKY Halo guy.
Happy birthday.
Hopefully you have a good one. Yeah. What's that?
I said yes.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Have a good one.
Right. So that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye. That's the one.